Hello everyone, in this video I am going to create this girl illustration in the app Hipaint. So I have already drawn this sketch, so I'm going to color it and add details. So here in the first layer, in the top layer, we have this sketch and I used multiply blending mode, and in the bottom layer I'm going to add the skin color using the leaf brush. So as you know, if you have already seen my videos, I'm so much comfortable with leaf brush compared to other brushes. So here I'm using the leaf brush to fill the colors of all the parts. I'm going to use the same leaf brush. And for the ears, and no problem if you have covered the hair area a little bit, because the hair going to be irregular and small hairs at the front, so we need to have some skin visible there, so I'm covering the hair a little bit. Now next I'm going to color the scarf with yellow color, and for this I'm just choosing a layer below the face layer. Actually above the face layer, and I'm just reducing the opacity of the sketch so that I can draw better. Done. And I'm going to draw the pant here on the same layer, because I didn't use a separate layer for this, because the scarf and the pants are far away from each other, so if we apply any details it will not affect. And adjusting this shape using the leaf eraser. Now just create a new layer, and here I'm going to use the blue color for the dress. So I'm not having adding any straight detail for the corner of the dress shape, because I want to add a little bit of small details to the cloth. So I'm just moving hands in a regular manner like this to make it like a woolen or something like that. Next, going back to this same scarf layer, so here I'm going to add coloring for the hands. So many of you asked me to create video in normal speed, so this video will be in normal speed, so you can follow along with me. And if you want to use the same sketch, you can just make the screenshot of it and use that. And I'm just created a new layer above these two layers, and here I'm going to fill the boots color. So next I'm going to add hair details. I'm using very dark brown shade, almost like a black, but not black, it's brown actually. And if you want the color palette, I have shared the hexadecimal code of the colors that I used in the description. You can check the description for the colors, also for the the brushes. Also you can find the brush details on the side of the video, on the left side. Whenever I use the new brush, it will show there, so you can use check that as well. So as I told before, I am using the same leaf brush for the complete coloring process. For the texture, I will use some different brushes, but for basic coloring, just one brush. So next, I'm going to use the bleed brush for adding small hairs different. So this hair is a curly one, so I am making the curly small baby hairs here. And here you can see I'm adding the hairs at the side. It looks clumsy now, but after finishing I will be using eraser, 2B pencil eraser, to make it little bit faded out. And on this side as well. And here I am going to use the flat brush eraser to erase it little bit. So yeah, actually I told as 2B pencil, but I'm using the flat brush because flat brush have some hair like line texture. It gives some line texture, so using that for the hair will be better than compared to the 2B pencil brush eraser. Okay, done. Coming back with the same leaf brush, so here I'm going to add the eyebrows like this, and on that side as well. And next here I am going to add the hairband in a separate layer using the leaf brush. Next I'm just creating a layer above the face layer. So here I'm going to draw the eyes. So instead of drawing both eyes at once, I'm just going to draw one eye details completely, and I'm going to duplicate it and flip it horizontally so that it looks uh, even, both are same like that. So yeah. Then if you feel the shape is not good, you can erase it a little bit. I didn't use the perfect circle shape. Instead, it's something like an oval shape. And create another layer, clipping layer, and I'm going to use the brown color to draw that center, this thing. So again, I'm using the ballpoint pen brush to make this shape, and you can adjust the anchor points just by long pressing the curve that you have created. You will get the anchor points, and you can adjust and fill with the leaf option. So now I'm just switching the transparent pixel, and here the new layer. So I'm going to add the reflection, light reflection. So I'm just changing the blending mode to overlay. Looks good like this. And here next I'm going to go back to the same layer where we had that brown balls. So here I'm switching on the alpha log, and I'm going to use the ballpoint pen brush with some dark color, almost like a black color, and I just reduce the opacity of the brush a little bit and adding the shading. Now our eyes are ready, so I'm going to merge them together into a single layer. So this is our eyes layer. I just duplicated that, and using the flip horizontal option and move option, I'm going to move it like this and place it exactly. Release the transform tool. So the eyes are ready. Now I'm going to add a little bit of light here. So I'm using the 2B pencil brush to add this. Yeah, this is how it looks. So the basic details are over. Now I have to add extra texture, shadow, highlights, all those things for each one. So here I'm just creating a clipping layer for the cloth, and I'm going to use the watercolor brush from the painting section to add the details. So I'm just changing the blending mode to linear burn. You can try both linear burn and multiply blending mode. Just adjust the size and make just tab like this. Okay, done. Now I'm going to adjust the opacity of the layer and check out which looks good. So this is the basic detail. So we can add the you know, shadow now. The new layer I am going to use the linear blending mode, or can try multiply. So I'm using multiply and using dark color and the ballpoint pen brush, and we can add shadow like this. So now we have added the shadow details here, and I'm going to add some highlights. So I'm using the add blending mode layer, clipping layer for the same cloth layer, and using the same watercolor brush I'm going to add details like this. Reduce the opacity when we coming to the left side, so it's like the light light spot is on the right side, so the left side looks dark. And again adjust the opacity depending upon the way you want. Now I'm going to go to the scarf layer, just create a clipping layer same as it is, and use the linear blending mode or multiply blending mode. You can try both and just change and check which color you want and add details like this. So again here I'm using the same watercolor brush to add the texture. Now again the same way I'm going to add the add blending mode layer to add highlights. Again I'm using the same brush, watercolor. So for the entire video I'm just keeping with 4 to 5 brush, will not exceed that. So you can say simply using 4 brush you can create a beautiful children book illustration or something like that very easily in Hipaint. So here I am using the leaf brush to add little bit of shadow on the left side. So I am on the linear burn blending mode layer. Now it's good. And little bit of highlights like this. So I wish to add a little bit of highlights here as well. Done. And so still I'm just confused with which layer I have to use. And now here for the pant, I'm keeping it very mild. And here using the same color, I'm going to add the highlights in the add blending mode layer. We can add one more. Done. So here again for the hands, gloves, I'm using the same yellow color, but as the blending mode is a linear burn, it gives some dark color look. And go to the add blending mode layer, add a little bit of highlights like this. Now it looks good. Next for the shoes. So using the same color and adding the details. Now in the same way, I'm going to add add blending mode layer and add some highlight details. And here as well. next. So here I'm going to add some details for the eyebrows. So here the hair, eyebrows is on the same layer. It's easy to add details for the eyebrows, but hair takes a little bit of time. So it's, if you can't able to use the leaf brush for adding such details, you can go for the bleed brush. Here I'm using the bleed brush, you can see. And now the big pot, I'm going to add details for the hair. Like this. So it's basically about how we moving the hand here. That's what matters. And here I'm adding the details for the hair buns. Like, it's not too much details, just a curve, because after this we'll be adding some more dark shades, bigger size brushes, so, and then some highlights, so it will be good after finishing everything. So here I just increase the size of the bleed brush, nothing else, and also reduce the opacity. So this is same process again and again, so I just speeded up the video a little bit. And here I'm going to add some highlights in the add blending mode layer using the same brush. As the opacity is less and drawing one over the another, it looks some different look. So follow along with me. And here we can add a little bit of highlight like this. Can add same details using the same blade brush on the eyebrows as well. Next I'm going to add details for the eye, the hairbands, using little bit of dark color, something like a rust color with reduced opacity, leaf brush, just adding these details. And next comes the face. So create a linear burn blending mode layer, use the same color, and you can add details like this very easily. And here adding little bit of shadow for the hair, making the corner of the face a little bit darker, and under the eyebrows, under the eyes, like this. And for the nose, so here I'm using the leaf brush to draw the that nose holes, nostrils, and just reduce the opacity of the brush and drawing the nose shape here. So I didn't add too much details, like you can see after switching off the sketch, looks like this. We can add still more like this. Yeah. So here I'm going to draw the mouth. So I didn't use the same shape I used on the sketch. Instead I'm going to draw an open mouth with the teeth like smiling. So this is going to be inside part of the mouth. So I just using the dark color, and above this I'm going to draw the teeth with white color like this. We can erase here to create some details using the leaf eraser. So as I always says, it's not only about the brush, it's doesn't need to be like whatever shape it is, you have to draw using the brush only, not something like that. You can instead draw a shape, and using the eraser you can bring out that shape. So you can use that in either way as you wish. And now I'm going to draw the lips. And before that, the white, the teeth looks very, too much white. So I'm making yellowish a little bit, making it a little bit matching to the real color like this. And on the new layer I am going to draw the lips like this. So again, for adding shading, I didn't use the any color. Instead I'm using the 2B pencil eraser to erase it off little bit to make it like a Korean lips, their lipstick style. Now adding the shadow details for the ears on both sides. Now I'm going to add blush to this. So I'm using the 2B pencil brush to add the blush. I'm using the pink color, and on the new layer I'm doing this. And we almost finished the shadow details for the face. Now I'm going to add a little bit of highlight to the face, so I'm using the add blending mode layer, and using the same color leaf brush I'm adding the details like this. It's not visible that much on the video, but I'm adding a little bit of highlight. And the ears as well. New layer, I am going to draw the eyelashes using the black color and leaf brush. So make the shape like this and adjust. So here I just drawn the eyelashes for one layer, and for one eye. For another eye, I'm just going to duplicate the layer and move like this and place it on the another eyes. And now it looks good. And next comes the background. So here I'm going to use the flat brush, and I'm just created a layer below all the layers, and just increase the opacity opacity, and keep the size of the brush to maximum, and make a shape like this. So I didn't use any the proper shape. Instead I'm keeping it something like a rectangle, like an irregular shape. It looks better. And if you want, you can just add little bit of dark shades on the same layer just by switching on the alpha lock. Here I'm using little bit of dark green like this. And here I'm going to use some mild green color to add a little bit of white light green shade on the right side. So here the girl is looking on below, so there has to be some object or something like that. So here I'm going to draw a bird. So using the ballpoint pen brush, I'm going to draw the bird shape, and I'm going to add details. So using the leaf brush, I'm going to fill the color of the bird. Here I don't use any separate layer for adding these shadow details. Instead I'm using a little bit darker shade, and just reduce the opacity of the brush to add details on the same layer. I just switched on the alpha lock, or you can call transparent lock transparent pixel option on the layer and I'm adding the details. Now again use some milder color than the color you used for the bird to add some highlights like this. And okay, done almost. Now I'm going to save this as both PNG and JPG. To save this as PNG, just switch out the background and then save this as PNG. And here I will show you how it looks. This is how it looks. So you can see I just used some leaf brush and some just 4 to 5 brush, but create a beautiful illustration using that. If you like this tutorial, wants more like this, please subscribe to my channel, watch all other videos, like this video, and tell me in the comment section what are the things you want to learn. So thank you for watching. Bye.